Today we're going to talk about brain training and brain exercises and how to boost your memory with brain training. Now, this is not something that is fancy or medical treatment that you need someone else to do it for you. What I'm gonna talk about is something that you can do in a simple way. Now, when we heard the word brain training, we might think about the medical treatment that is used to train the brain, such as neurofeedback. But for today's topic, I want to make it easy for you, and I want all of you can do that. So I'm not going to talk about neurofeedback or any other apps or any other medical treatment that can and use to specifically train the brain. Now, before we head out to the brain exercises and the brain training, let's get some foundational steps. But first, why do we need to increase our memory? Well, for me, I think memory is our greatest asset, and this might not feel correct for most of you. And if you are not on senior's age, or if you're not above 55 or above 60 even, where your memory starts to decline, you might not realize how important our memory is. But for many people that already have a declining memory or already start to being forgetful, they know the importance of memory and what it can bring into your life. Like, it's not just about the ability to remember some things, but it's also about the happiness and the quality of your life that involve into the ability to memorize itself. Now, let's talk about the 3 foundational steps that we need to have before getting ourselves a brain training or brain exercise. The first foundational steps that you need to have is exercise. And I know it sounds probably too general, but it's actually not. Because by doing exercise, you are giving your body the chance of having to remove those free radicals outside your body, because then your body has to have sweat. And by sweating, your body is getting rid of so many toxins and so many impurities outside from your body. Exercise also means that you are getting more blood flow into your brain, which also can improve your brain capacities. And by doing exercise, you also reduce your whole body inflammation level. Now, we know that inflammations or silent inflammations is the root cause of many diseases, including memory decline. Second foundational steps is sleeping. Can you imagine the better way of having a great brain rather than doing a good night's sleep? Unfortunately, many people beg to differ. I can tell you that so many people think they don't need enough sleep each and every single night just because they have those workload or want to have more social time. But having a good night's sleep can ensure that your memory stays sharp and intact until those golden ages. The third foundational steps and the last one is to reduce your stress. Now, you probably don't understand how much stress you are in right now, so I'm just gonna say to manage your stress. Because I think the best thing about stress that is you need to manage it every day to be able to not getting stressed out or not fall into depressions. And there are so many things that we can do to reduce our stress, from getting a calming exercise such as breathing exercise, or doing meditations, or even socializing with your family and friends. So those are the 3 foundational steps that you need to have a better and strong memory. And now let's move on into next sections, which is brain training. The concept behind brain training is that brain is like a muscle. When you exercise it enough, when you use it enough, when you flex it just enough, then you will have a better and stronger brain functions. And so when we train our brain, when we exercise our brain, and this is kind of different than procrastinations or overthinking, because by doing procrastinations, you're not exercising your brain. So the meaning of brain training is positive exercise or activities that can enhance your brain functions and optimize all of the environment in your brain to really just regenerate and enhance its own ability. Now let's talk about the apps before we head to the brain exercise. I know that you probably already see several apps that promise for you to have a better brain functions and better focus, attentions, and memory. And I just want to tell you that it works. It works very, very good. I've tried several apps and it really does the job. But just like exercise, when you use the apps, when you do the exercise or brain training, it only works when you do it. So when you are being consistent, it works. But when you stop and you're not doing it anymore, then you will see that your focus, your memory will start to decline. Let's move on into the brain training or brain exercise. I think there are so many things that you can do to improve your brain functions and memory. So I'm just gonna sort it out into 17 activities that I enjoyed, and I hope that you can enjoy too, to increase your brain performance, including your memory functions. Number 1 is meditations. Now, I know that meditations can really help for stress and calming you down, but by doing meditations, you also give your brain a chance of stillness. And this is very important because sometimes we think too much. There are so many things that invade our brain, and when we don't recognize this as a burden, we tend to just procrastinate and do overthinking. Well, you won't see any harmful or bad side effect from this at the current moment, but if you do it each and every day, then it's going to pile up and it's going to be very hard for your brain to function properly. So meditations eliminates all of that. Second is by doing visualizations. This is something that I used to do to remember better when I try to learn something new, is to visualize the word or the thing and connect it with each other's. So when I learn some new words in foreign language, I will use the words and connect it with the visual view of the things itself, and it helps me better to remember, and because it makes those connections between the words and the visual. And I think it works best because it builds the bridge between the words and the visual representations of the things itself. Number 3, playing games. So any games that you play with your family, with your friends, like card games, any kind of games, can really increase your brain performance, especially when you need to remember something, when you need to not only using brain to focus, but also to remember the things to play the games, but the rules itself, or if you're playing cards, what cards are already being played before. So those kind of things can help you to remember better. Number 4, playing memory card games. Memory card games is a very good option when you try to increase your memory performance, because this is also something that most people will do when they try to learn new knowledge and learn new things. Number 5 is practicing crossword puzzles. I love crosswords and I can actually play crossword puzzles for several hours without even getting bored. So I'm not only enjoying the games, but also exercising my memory functions. Number 6, completing jigsaw puzzles. Now, for those people who love puzzles, puzzles is a very good idea to increase your brain performance, and it does increase your memory because it forces your brain to remember the puzzle pieces to really complete the puzzle itself. Number 7, playing Sudoku. I know not everyone will like Sudoku or will play Sudoku, but for those who do, Sudoku is a very good game to increase your memory and also improve your concentration level. Number 8 is playing chess. I really love chess because I think it's not just about playing the games, but it also enhances our strategy buildings. It also enhance our ability to thinking outside the box, and it also improve our memory functions. Number 9, playing checkers. Although it's a little bit the same like chess, but it has some set of different rules. But the principle is the same. You need to better manage strategies and you need your memory to function well to play this, and yes, it will improve your brain performance. Number 10, learning new skills. For these matters, any skills will do, from painting or doing a repair on something. Any new skills will force your brain to think. And most often than not, you will also use your memory functions because you need to be able to remember the steps. And yes, it will force your memory to improve and get better at time. Number 11, increasing personal vocabulary. So if you already use the crossword puzzles, I think there will be so many new vocabulary that you will expose to. But if you don't want to do crossword puzzles, you can always use Scrabble. Scrabble is also my favorite because I think it's a one way that I use to learn any new language actually, and it's a very helpful tool to remember new language and form better connections between the words itself and the things that we want to remember. Number 12, learning a new language. And it's a little bit connected with the number 11, where you need to learn new vocabulary, because by learning new language, you also need to remember new words and visualize new things that connected to the words itself. And by learning new language, you also force your brain to make a new neural pathway, which then increase the brain capacity itself. Number 13, listening to music. I know that most of you probably already heard the benefit of music for our brain functions, and it's not always about Mozart or classical music. Any other music that is calming and relaxing and something that you can associate with calmness in your thoughts, it's also going to be very beneficial for your brain and brain functions. Number 14, learning musical instrument. It's a little bit different than just listening to music, because by learning musical instruments, you need also to remember the notes, the chords, and how to use the instrument itself. So it's really challenging for your brain, and it's a very good exercise to improve your brain functions. Number 15, dancing. I think dancing is a very good exercise for your brain because it just gives that brain and movement connections Because with dancing, you kind of need to balance your thoughts with your movement, and this creates a neural pathway that is probably not there if you haven't dancing for a while, or if you never danced before. So yes, dancing is a very good exercise for your brain. Number 16, making new friends. So when we make new friends, we are forced to communicate and using our brain and being attentive to details such as their names, their favorite foods, their appearance, and it also improves your brain functions actually. So yes, having new friends, meeting new people can really improve your memory functions. And the last one, number 17, is writing. And I'm not talking about writing a report or any of those things. I'm talking about writing a diary or writing a blog or writing a book that you are really being expressive and being creative at the same time. Because the process of being creative and expressive will increase that neural pathway that your brain really needs. So that is 17 brain training or brain exercise that you can do to improve your memory functions. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I really suggest that you subscribe now, because I will provide you with new videos every 2 weeks. And I do hope this video can give you so much insight into brain training and brain exercise. And I hope to see you in another 2 weeks with my new videos. Bye-bye.